Most people think ancient animals were less advanced than those we see today. But long before humans, nature created creatures that feel almost unreal. Some were stronger, more dangerous, and far more fascinating than anything alive today. In this video, you're about to witness 7 fascinating extinct creatures that once dominated their world. Creatures so unique, so extreme, that they still challenge what we think is possible in nature. 7. Elephant bird. Beginning with this creature, the elephant bird, a creature so large that today ostriches would look like chickens beside it. Living about 1,200 years ago on the island of Madagascar, it remains the largest bird ever known to have existed. It's around 3 meters tall with an 8-foot wingspan, but with one flaw. It couldn't fly. For thousands of years, the flightless giant thrived in isolation. It had no natural predators capable of challenging it. Its powerful legs carried its massive body with surprising ease, and its sheer presence dominated the landscape. But here's the mystery. Why didn't it fly? Was flight unnecessary in its isolated environment, or did it simply lack the ability to take off? Some paleontologists argue this inability to fly made it an easy target for humans. When humans got to Madagascar, they saw this giant bird as food. The huge eggs and large, tender meat were manna they didn't have to work for. The elephant bird's extinction is proof that no matter how big or strong, nothing is invincible. But the question remains, could they have survived if humans never arrived on the island? Some researchers believe that without human interference, this creature could have continued evolving in isolation, growing even larger over time. Others argue that environmental limits would have eventually caught up with it. Either way, the elephant bird remains a reminder that dominance can vanish the moment a new force enters the ecosystem. 6. Ankylosaurus. Up next is the Ankylosaurus. Imagine an armored tank, living, breathing, and walking on 4 legs. That's the Ankylosaurus. Living about 66 million years ago, this creature was heavily armored, with thick, bony plates covering its body, and a club-like tail capable of crushing any predator that dared get too close. It was one of the most protected creatures in the late Cretaceous period. But despite its armor, the Ankylosaurus had a slow, lumbering pace. It wasn't fast, but it didn't need to be. Its natural defenses were more than enough to make even the bravest predators think twice. Even the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex would have hesitated to take on this walking force. So what went wrong? What made the Ankylosaurus disappear when its defenses were nearly perfect? Some experts believe climate change led to its extinction, while others think it was unable to adapt to changes in its food supply. One thing is certain, if you were an ancient predator, you would think twice before going up against an Ankylosaurus. Its existence proves that survival isn't always about speed or aggression. Sometimes it's about endurance. About being so well protected that the world simply adapts around you until it no longer can. Golden toad. On the next spot is the golden toad, a mysterious animal whose disappearance still baffles researchers today. Once living in the cloud forests of Costa Rica, by the late 1980s, it had vanished without a trace. No bodies, no warning, just gone. The golden toad became a symbol of a much bigger mystery. Its bright yellow skin was unlike anything else in nature, which scientists initially thought was an adaptation to attract mates or signal danger. But what truly fascinated researchers was its extreme sexual dimorphism. If you saw the male and the female together, you wouldn't believe they were the same species. While the males were a bright uniform gold, the females were slightly larger and dressed in a velvety black covered in vivid red spots. Their brief breeding gatherings looked like a scattering of living jewels. So why did it disappear so suddenly? Researchers blame disease, particularly the spread of chytrid fungus, which has devastated amphibian populations worldwide. Others point to climate change, arguing that shifting temperatures and humidity levels disrupted its fragile ecosystem. We may never know the full truth. Was it an unfortunate event, or a creature too delicate for the world it lived in? What makes the golden toad especially unsettling is how quickly it vanished. One moment, it was thriving in hidden forest pools. The next, it was gone, leaving scientists with questions that still don't have clear answers. 4. Aurochs. Next, we have the aurochs, the wild ancestor of all modern cattle. Living up to 700,000 years ago, this enormous creature roamed across Europe, Asia, and North Africa. It weighed up to 1,500 kilograms, with horns nearly a meter wide, capable of gutting anything from a distance. The aurochs dominated its ecosystem. It wasn't prey, it was a force. But everything changed when humans did. As agriculture developed, domestication replaced wild herds. By the 1600s, the last aurochs was gone. Why did we let this creature disappear? Some believe it was too wild to control. Others think it was simply outcompeted by more adaptable species. What's fascinating is that its genetic legacy lives on in modern cattle. So if its descendants survived, why didn't the original? The story of the aurochs forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Progress doesn't just replace the old. Sometimes it erases it entirely. And by the time we notice what's missing, it's already too late. 3. Bluebuck. At the following spot, we have the bluebuck, a relative of sable and roan antelopes. Early explorers were stunned by its coat. It wasn't truly blue, but when sunlight hit its fur, a shimmering blue hue appeared. The bluebuck lived in a very restricted area in South Africa, and that was its weakness. When European settlers arrived in the 1700s, the species became vulnerable. Despite reports that its meat wasn't particularly tasty, it was overhunted for its hide. By 1800, the last bluebuck was shot. Only 4 mounted skins remain today. That's all the proof we have. If we had realized the dangers sooner, could this ghost of Africa still be alive today? The bluebuck's extinction happened quietly, without global attention or urgency. It disappeared before conservation was even a concept, turning it into a symbol of how easily beauty can be lost when no one is watching. 2. Great auk. Next is the great auk, a bird that couldn't fly but ruled the ocean. Living along the coasts of Europe and North America, this creature was a powerful swimmer. Its wings acted like flippers, allowing it to dive deep and hunt fish efficiently. On land, however, it was helpless, slow, exposed, easy prey. Humans hunted it relentlessly for feathers, meat, and eggs. By the mid-1800s, the great auk was extinct. What makes this species haunting is how little we ever learned about it. Its behavior, its social structure. Much of it remains unknown. If a species can disappear before we ever understand it, how many others vanished the same way? The great auk's fate shows how vulnerable specialization can be, perfectly adapted to one world and completely helpless in another. Its silence now echoes across coastlines it once dominated. 1. Triceratops. Finally, the Triceratops, one of the most recognizable dinosaurs ever discovered. This massive herbivore was armed. 3 horns, a massive bony frill. These features weren't decoration. Despite its size and formidable defenses, it likely moved with surprising agility, grazing peacefully in herds. Fossilized evidence of healed horn injuries suggests that Triceratops often clashed with rivals, showing a complex social life and making it one of the most fascinating dinosaurs ever studied. But Triceratops vanished at the end of the Cretaceous period. Scientists blame rapid climate shifts, collapsing food chains, and the asteroid impact that reshaped life on Earth. But no single explanation tells the full story. Was Triceratops a victim of catastrophe, or a species pushed beyond its limits? A reminder that even the most iconic creatures can be erased when the planet itself changes. Extinction isn't always a failure of a species. Every creature in this video was perfectly adapted to its time. They survived predators and competition, until the world changed faster than they could. Their stories remind us that dominance is temporary, and survival is never guaranteed. If this fascinated you, another mystery awaits you on this channel. Watch our last videos, because some creatures didn't just disappear, they were never supposed to exist at all.